you'll bow your head for the invocation. Lord, thank you for bringing us together today. Thank you for bringing us together to make wise decisions and thoughtful decisions and decisions that are meaningful in the lives of the children of this county. We truly appreciate the ability you've given us to do this. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. First, I'd like to consider approval of our meeting agenda. Do I have a motion to either accept the agenda as presented or to amend it?
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
To accept it as presented?
Accept it as presented, yes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. I'll raise your right hand. Okay, I don't believe we have anybody signed up for public comment, so we'll skip right on over 3.1 and we'll move on to our consent agenda. I'll read the items on our consent agenda. 4.1 is to consider approval of the Board of Education meeting minutes of June 11th. 4.2 is to consider approval of special Board of Education meetings of June 20th. 4.3 is to consider approval of special Board of Education minutes for June 27th. 4.4 is to consider personnel matters. 4.5 is to consider fundraiser requests. 4.6 is to consider student transfers. 4.7 is to consider the memorandum of understanding with Moore Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. 4.8 is to consider approval of Moorhead City Middle School roof replacement. 4.9 is to consider the contract for speech pathologists. 4.10 is to consider Bridges accountability model for 2019-2020. I believe our board should have had ample time to review the items on our consent agenda. So, do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, motion passes. So we are good to go with our consent agenda. Next, item 5.1. We are going to receive presentation regarding WCHS Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, their national conference. And this is going to be presented by Catherine Lewis, who is our West Carteret CTE Family Consumer Science teacher.
Hello, and this is
Lily DePietri Antonio.
Hi.
hey Lily.
Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America is a dynamic, effective national student organization that helps young men and women become leaders and address important personal, family, work, and societal issues through family and consumer sciences education. FCCLA has over 175,000 members and more than 5,300 chapters from 50 state associations, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. West Carteret High School FCCLA was a part of FCCLA's largest national leadership conference in Anaheim, California, June 30th through July 4th. More than 8,700 participants from across the county gathered to attend leadership and program trainings, hear national speakers, meet youth leaders from across the nation, participate in competitive events, and explore college and career options. This year's conference theme encouraged participants to believe in yourself by competing in competitive events, partaking in the Leadership Academy, and continue to make a positive impact within their families, communities, and careers. Attendees also had the opportunity to engage with Red Talks, learn about potential career and college opportunities at the expo, and interact with leaders from across the nation.
2 of the 5 West Carteret High School students, rising seniors Caitlin Kerr and Romeo McDonald, who attended the National Leadership Conference, were among 4,700 members who competed in STAR, which stands for Students Taking Action with Recognition, events at National Leadership Conference. These events not only aim to support student development of knowledge and skills by enhancing the classroom experience, but they also recognize members for their proficiency and achievement in their individual projects that help to develop leadership skills and career preparation. In order to advance to the national level in a STAR event, members first compete and qualify for nationals at the state level. Caitlin participated in the Focus on the Children event, and Romeo participated in the Applied Math for Culinary Management event. One of the 5 students, graduating senior Hannah Holden, helped to manage and serve as an evaluator for the fashion construction event, in which she was able to help score a variety of garments that were designed and constructed by students across the nation. 2 of the 5 students, rising seniors Emma Walters and Lily DePietri Antonio, were among the 700 members who took part in the Franklin Covey Leadership Academy. This Leadership Academy uses the Franklin Covey Leader in Me curriculum to empower students to further develop their leadership skills and self-confidence while learning side by side with peers from across the country. Lily also participated in a variety of trainings that helped to equip her in serving as the North Carolina FCCLA First Vice President position for the 2019-2020 school year.
Last but not least, advisor Ms. Catherine Lewis was among 42 advisors from across the nation to receive a 2019 Master Advisor National Award. This award recognizes advisors who have successfully advised an affiliated chapter for a minimum of 3 years, continuously promote FCCLA and FCS education, operate an integrated chapter with a balanced program of work, facilitate youth-centered activities, and continues to integrate new ideas and FCCLA happenings. Master advisors are essential in motivating and mentoring members to reach their highest potential.
West Carteret High School FCCLA would like to express our sincerest thank you to the Carteret County Board of Education, Superintendent Matt Bottoms, and CTE Director Allison Dees for their continued support in FCCLA and our mission to promote personal growth and leadership development through family consumer sciences education. Please accept these gifts as a token of our appreciation.
May I ask a question while y'all are passing out?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were
Thank you
awarded
so much.
a master advisor. Thank you.
Yes,
Very much.
and these were purchased by the, West Carteret FCCLA.
And is that, the designation, do you train other, teachers or?
Actively, I do. I'm part of the FCCLA Education District Leadership Counselor for the Southeast region. So that was part of my application process to get that award. And in that position, I help train other advisors within our district. So we host workshops. I've hosted 2 workshops and we'll be hosting another one in August. The next award that I can get from this is the Mentor Advisor, where I have to mentor a new family consumer science teacher. So I hope to apply and get that award within the next 5 years, because it's a 3-year process. You have to train them for 3 years to get that.
That's great. So you are training the students and the teachers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And Lily, you're the vice president of the state?
Mm-hmm. I'm the first vice president.
Outstanding. That's outstanding. Good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you guys
thank
for the
y'all.
opportunity.
Congratulations.
Thank you
And-
very
and
much.
Thank you for the gifts too.
Oh, you're welcome.
Normally
Thank you.
I check to make sure it's not going to explode or something. But
No, you're fine. Thank you. Do you all have any other questions for us?
no, thank you very much.
All right, thank you
And
all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next, item 6.1. We will consider capital appropriation breakdown for 2019, 2020. This is submitted by Ms. Kathy Carswell.
Good afternoon. The county appropriated us $2.7 million for capital needs. That breakdown is $1,272,119 for planned repairs, technology $779,000, building and grounds $477,206, for vehicles $128,000, and then the modular lease $43,675 for a total of $2.7 million. The breakdown of the projects that we will be doing for the planned repairs are attached, and once the board approves this, then we will send it to the county for them to do a budget amendment to appropriate the funds in the categories. Any questions?
Oh, yeah. Ms. Carswell, did we get bids for the painting?
We did.
Okay, gotcha. One of our board members had brought up that it looked like the our painting, I guess, had gone up since our original. What's the situation there?
Anything pertaining to hand labor itself is just, since the hurricane, it's just gone through the roof.
Also, West Carteret was in worse condition than most of our schools have been. The peeling paint in that school due to humidity, it was, we knew it was gonna cost a little bit more just on the condition of the school, but the labor also went up.
Since the last painting, we were able to put a roof on through the bond work, it got finished, and that helped seal seal the building. And,
Okay.
but we knew going through the door, it was gonna be a lot more extensive labor.
So when we get those bids, these are not in stone bids. These are estimates here that we're getting.
We
on
pretty
our
much
bids.
try to put everything on the table so there's no surprises.
Right, this should be the final price.
This should here, okay. And because another question that had been raised was about the absence of the tennis courts. So I wanted to ask about the situation there.
I'm glad you brought those up. We struggled with getting all of our needs down to what the allocation was. And if you look at that list, a lot of it's safety, and we did paint, we put some flooring in, but there were other things that were needed that we weren't able to do. The playground set at Smyrna, for instance, we were able to do that, but that's a pre-K playground, and we had already been told by the state several times, you gotta get this fixed, so we went ahead and did that. Ms. Carswell and I and Richie met this morning, and we just received late last week a sales tax reversion from some of the bond work we did towards the end of the bond to the amount of about $25,000. And we have another sales tax reversion from some of our normal proceeds throughout the last school year that we can put together for around $50,000 or $55,000. That sales tax, and probably get those courts. The bid that Richie had got was somewhere in the mid-40s. And so we think we actually can get those tennis courts done now through the reversion of those tax proceeds.
Okay, so even though they're not listed here, they're going to be able to be taken care of?
Yeah, exactly. That money is not a county allocation. It's just, that's just the way the state does, is when you do it on those capital items, you get the sales tax back.
Okay, what time frame wise, what could that be looking like maybe?
Since we just did this today, Richie and Kenny will get on that pretty quickly to see what we can do to get that started. I doubt they will get it by tennis season. I mean, tennis season's already started really, so I don't know. And we're also, this is not a Cadillac fix. This is, it should be a good court to practice on. They may want to play their matches somewhere else, but it will be a good court for that. And it will put back what we have. Again, we didn't expand to 4 courts or 5 courts. We took the 3, and we're going to take the grass and the cracks and fill the cracks, put a new surface on there, and repair the fence. So it's not the Cadillac version by any stretch, but it will get them where they can practice. We're hoping if the bid is low enough for this work that we need about $8,000 to fix West Carteret's tennis courts. They're heading in the same direction that East is with the cracks. And right now, they're killing the weeds, they're doing things they should be doing. But if we could get those sealed up now at $8,000, it would keep us from having a $50,000 problem later. So we're hoping that when we get those bids finalized, we can get that work done at the same time.
For the sales tax reversions, I had actually had questions from somebody before, somebody else, that wondering how that worked. When somebody is making a big purchase on an item, like let's say an athletic director or a principal or whoever else, if there is a big purchase, they paying the sales tax up front on these items out of their particular budget, whatever it may be, then are they getting, is there a sales tax reversion on those items, purchases like that?
Yes, what we do here at the Central Services is if it's going through school funds, we file the sales tax for all school funds and central service funds here. Once the money comes in, we send the schools back the money they received.
So would that, like if a particular department made a purchase, that particular department, once the sales tax reversion is official and comes back to you guys, then you will refund that particular, wherever the purchase was made, it would go back to that department.
No,
So
it
they will
goes back
realize
to the school and
Okay.
for the school to make distributions.
And the school typically does distribute back to wherever.
No, I can't answer that, but just keep in mind, for a school system, we are only eligible for the local portion of sales tax.
Right.
Now, the county is eligible for the full amount, and that's why they own the building, we lease the building from them, so that when we have the bond projects, then they are able to recoup the entire amount of sales tax. And so they do that, and they put that back into the bond program. And that's why we have this $25,000 now to spend out of the bond, is because they have put the money back into the account that it came from.
So if a particular director or a department makes a purchase okay, a $10,000 purchase. What kind of sales tax reversion could they typically count on getting back?
And
What
it's
percentage?
different from each fund. That, state fund says that the local gets to keep the money, so it stays in the local and it's a revenue source in the local budget. So each fund that you have different rules to go by. So it would depend, and I'm talking about the accounts up here, the funds we have here. It would depend on what account it was purchased from.
Okay, so you can't give an exact number.
An example would be technology. One of the requirements is, even though it is state funds, that if he purchases $50,000 of computer equipment, that we do put that sales tax back in to his program.
So what I'm trying to get at is, if someone is trying to do budgeting, if they have a budget of $10,000 and they want to make a particular purchase, it'd be helpful if they contacted you. Would you be able to tell them exactly how much, even though they're having to pay that sales tax up front for whatever this purchase is, you would be able to tell them how much they are going to be getting back?
I could tell them that.
And that local tax is a couple percent.
It's 2%.
2%, so that might be all we're looking at is.
Oh, yeah,
like a
it's-
couple
that-
percent,
that is
not a
our-
full 7, so,
Right, just
Yeah,
the
that's
2%.
all we're looking
2%.
at.
The local sales tax.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And again, that's why we get the whole 7 when the county does it, we get the whole 7. And when we do it as a school system, we get the 2. And that's been a point of contention with school systems, because we are a state agency, and we're the only state agency that does not get the whole 7.
Mhm.
Every other DOT, all those get the 7%, and the schools get the 2%.
And some agencies get their sales tax exempt, so that they don't even have to pay for it
Up
and
front.
request a refund.
So now, can you provide more background on why we're not exempt up front, and then also kind of why we're the only organizations who?
That's political,
Mr. Chairman, I can-
legislators.
There's much discussion about that, whether it's just pure politics or whether something just got dropped through the cracks. But back when the $50 million bond was being considered back in the early 2000s, the accountants realized that a good portion of that money would be for building materials on which sales tax would be paid. Now, there's no sales tax paid on the labor, and so how much of the $50 million is labor and how much is building materials, I can't give you the figure, but somewhere around 20 to 25 million is probably building materials on which sales tax is paid. And so the accountants talked to the governing boards of the school system and the county, and it was determined that there was enough money involved to try to recoup the sales tax, that the school system, it would be wise for the school system to transfer the titles to all of the school campuses to the county commissioners. Because when there are improvements on county-owned property, the sales tax is rebated to the counties, all of it.
Rebated, not excluded up front.
It's not excluded up front, it's rebated, and that's the $50,000 or so that Mr. Bottoms was just referring to. So we're still reaping the benefits of that decision that was made fairly long ago to put the title to the properties over into the county commission. Release it back.
Is that consistent across the state? Do other?
It is. It's consistent for school systems that get along well with their county commissioners and are not kind of worried about territory. And so it's really worked well in Carteret County.
Thank you. If I was going to consider making a motion to table this until next meeting, in case we have since we have so few people here, in case others wanted to chime in. But if it sounded like that those tennis courts are going to be covered, and you can assure us of that, then then I'm fine with going ahead and.
Well, I do have a question about that. So you are using the 50,000 for the tennis courts?
That's a board decision.
That's what I was wondering.
Do we need to,
We've done, in the past, we brought that to you to do, and we can certainly.
So maybe we don't do anything with that decision tonight, because what we're doing is spending, it's a $40,000 Band-Aid if in a year or 2 years we're building six courts.
let's definitely talk about that. There may be better options rather than Band-Aid, go ahead and do
And we'll
it,
try
spending
to,
more.
by the next meeting, have you firm numbers of what that will, and we've got numbers several times, but now since we know a budget, we can say, what can we get done? for
Okay, so we can go ahead and pass this regardless, or consider this regardless of that decision. That sounds good.
Now, is the painting finished and west yet on that horticultural wing and all?
No, sir. I mean, the work, classrooms are a priority, and as we get out of those and we move into hallways, bathrooms, corridors, and stuff like that, they're working their way through. We're doing everything we can to get as much as we can before the kids come back, and then once that happens, we move nights, weekends to finish up. But there is no drop dead deadline, says it has to be done in the contract by a certain date. We just try to accomplish as much as we can in basically this 1 year of monies.
And that contractor has also taken care of the preschool center, which is, the interior of the preschool center is 100%.
Is 100%.
We still got the outside to do, but again, we didn't care about the outside this quarter. We paid that in September. So we've got him working hard, and he got both schools in his view.
About the mowing contracts, have you got that squared away?
They're working their way around, catching some few hot items up, grass in the cracks in concrete, but they're pretty much underway. Things are looking great, hadn't had any complaints. Like I said, the grass cutters are working their way around, and each time they go, they dip a little bit of the bad stuff and catching it up.
Ms. Carswell, the 2.7 million includes the 485,000 for children's detention?
No, that is separate. That is not. And we have requested them to purchase 2 chillers, and I don't remember
One
what.
to Harker's Island, one to Boat Sound.
Yes.
Do we know we're gonna replace?
And they have
Harker's
already approved
Island
that.
is dead at this point in time. Boat Sound is not functioning, but we do have a backup.
And
We'll
is
get
that,
That is not
In addition
included in, it is in addition. It was approved, I believe, last Monday night, or at their last meeting.
how did we do last year, compared to what we put into contingency and what we asked for?
About, I guess, 50-60% of what we requested contingency, we still end up using, I think, 2 chillers out of the 4 that was on the list, or maybe 3.
That has really, really worked well. Matt, I think
It's worked good.
this team came up with that, the county commissioners love it. So
So we had, this summer, we lost the 2 children, and we knew they were going to go out, but it was unfortunate. It was right before the budget, and it was a real struggle to get all that done. But Harker's Island is really without air conditioning right now, so we're going to have to probably put in window units until, in those classrooms until we can get those chillers in.
Do we have window units that are sitting around?
No, we will have to. I don't think we got any.
No, we're in the process of purchasing a little small 8,000 BTU type window unit that can run off a current electricity. When the school used to have window units years ago, so some of the infrastructure when that was put in are still there. So we decided to go with a lot smaller unit. It will subsidize the units in the building, get us by, unless we end up with some 106-degree days, we should be okay. But like I said, we've got some of those, in fact, some of them have already been installed. And so right now, the school, with the exception maybe the diner, the gym has a standalone system, the office has a standalone, and the media, or the foyer area, media center has a standalone system. So it's separate from the children. So we only have to subsidize the physical classrooms. So
any lead time on both of those, Harker's Island and Boat Sound?
Boat Sound will be here in the 26th, is scheduled to be shipped out of the factory. It's ahead of Harker's Island. Harker's Island is looking 8 to 10 weeks, for probably the latter part of September at this point for Harker's Island gets you. It's a different brand, it's a carrier, it's got a little bit different shipping date on it, but we did get confirmation on Boat Sounds, which Boat Sound fortunately has 2 chillers, so we do have a backup. So some of these schools that are sitting on single chillers, it's kind of hard to read the crystal ball to know that it's going to quit next Tuesday or next month or
And
this
not
summer.
being terribly mechanically inclined, can we not standardize on these?
We are attempting to standardize, where the engineer might have put a 86-ton unit in Harkers Island, we have rounded up to the hundreds. You know, they tend to be more, 100, 120, 160 ton, they tend to be more of a shelf item as it comes out in the assembly line. So sometimes you stand a chance of having one on the yard, but with this heat wave that just went through the United States, well, and then like I say, both of these come out of Mexico, so once they hit the border, they have to stay there, I think 2 weeks or something on the border before they need to ship them. And so we're you know, relying on the shipping dates, but we're still 8 or 10 weeks out at Harkers Island.
When I was visiting White Oak here a couple weeks ago, that chiller on that old gym there is about ready to.
They are dead.
It's gone.
In this capital funding, in fact, we're setting bids by Friday for the replacement of the 2 units on the gym. This heat wave, if anything was living life on the edge, this heat wave worked on what equipment we had.
I think we had it on the budget last spring as an 85 or 90% chance of failure, and it failed just a few weeks ago.
It
And
kick off.
in this capital thing, that unit is one of the items that hopefully be approved tonight.
Other questions for Ms. Carswell? Do I hear a motion to approve the 2019-2020 capital appropriation breakdown as presented?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. That was the right hand. 4-0. Thank you, Ms. Carswell.
Thank you. As additional information, just for especially newer board members, the budget has not been approved yet from the state. So until the budget is approved, we're working on our continuing resolution that we voted on in June. So until we get that, I will not be bringing to you a budget resolution. So in case people are asking, you know, why do we not have a budget? We're still waiting on the state to adopt their budget. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Item 7.1 is we're going to receive a facility support operations update from Mr. Kenny Peterson.
I've got that, Mr. Chair. As we talked about earlier, the painting, I was going to mention that, but I think you're up to date on that. The asbestos removal at West Carteret is done. That was something we started early summer to make sure that we got a clean bill of health from the air monitors.
But still in the floor though, on them tiles, correct?
We've taken the tiles up. So that building is clean and the new tiles are going down. They've already gone down. The White Oak piece of pre-K equipment has been installed. The floor tile at Newport Middle is still underway. Kenny, is it finished? Okay, I knew it was right on the verge. Beaufort Middle's cameras have also been done. So we've got a pretty good head start on the things that need to be done while the kids were out. We still have a lot of stuff to do, but we wanted to do the things when the buildings were empty. If I might jump over to the hurricane side a little bit, we're still dealing with FEMA. Working to get some mitigation done for our roofs and generators. Keith and Moretti is still in the process of getting their engineers and our engineers to get all that lined up for us. We have separated the county into different groups of work so we could better bid those projects and make them where they were more lucrative for the contractor. Some of those things were so small we couldn't get people to want to bid on them, so we've got them in larger packages. The Highway 24 group and the Newport group, they should have their work done by mid-August. The East Carteret is its own group. It had enough damage, it became its own group, and that will be done by the end of August. And then the rest of those should be done by the end of September. And we hope at that point we're, fingers crossed, that we're just about out of the hurricane business at that point. The only thing that we would see it would be the things we're looking at for mitigation, which would be some of the generators and roofing projects that might come later. The greenhouse at Croatan is done. The greenhouses at East and West are just about done. Maybe even, are they still in the just about?
Electrician's still working on it.
Right. The 8th grade building at Morehead Middle, you approved that roof tonight, so that will get started immediately. And then the roof at Croatan, we're still in the process of getting those bids, and that will probably come to you in the next month. If I might transition to superintendent comments, I do thank Ms. Lewis and Lily for coming tonight. Thank you very much. We enjoyed that. And congratulations on your state leader or your national leadership or state leadership position as first vice president. That's a lot of title, but congratulations. Our math students return tomorrow. We're glad to see them back in school, and we were by there today. Richie and Blair and I were by there today, and they're getting ready. The teachers are excited, and they'll open the doors here shortly. We still have several vacancies throughout the county, but 2 of those are administrative, and the interviews of the White Oak assistant principal will take place tomorrow, and the interviews for the East Carteret principal will take place on Thursday. Our teachers, aside from the math teachers who are already here, the rest of our teachers will return next Wednesday. We have 3 days of training set up for them already, and plus the next week they have even more. And one of the areas that we're focusing on is called Keys to Literacy, which is a reading comprehension program that we're taking on and helping our students have a little bit better comprehension there. I do want to thank Kathy and Kenny and Richie. That capital budget that went through tonight, there was a lot of work that took place to get it to where it is, and we will jump on those projects as quickly as we can and hope to have those knocked out by mid-year, and then have just a little bits and pieces left for late in the spring. Stuff to Bus is happening now. We have had a lot of people donate to that. Of course, Tabby has spearheaded the Stuff to Bus campaign. We do want to thank the Parkview Baptist Church with John Carswell and the members there. They have really been receptive to that whole program. They almost turned their church over to the Stuff to Bus. Also, the Board of Realtors have really been helpful in all this with Nationwide. Mac Willis, he's been a key player, as Alan and Christy Leary with Remax. And Neil and his folks have done a great job in backing Stuff to Bus as well. So the distribution starts tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and they'll get book bags, school supplies, shoes as long as they last, hairstyles as long as their hair lasts, and it'll be a good time for the kids. So we'll also have other distributions on Sunday, August 11th, and they can check that. It's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Beaufort Elementary, Broad Creek, Newport Middle, and Down East Middle. We'll have a distribution on Sunday afternoon. So it should be a great time for the Stuff to Bus. And finally, we're looking forward to our students returning in 3 weeks. It'll be before our next board meeting, and I do remind our drivers that if you see a stopped school bus, if you will stop too, that will save lives and make your life a lot easier. So please use caution when approaching a stopped school bus. And Mr. Chair, that is my comments for tonight.
Okay, we will thank you, Mr. Bottoms. We will now receive comments from our board members. Mr. Klein.
I also wanted to congratulate Ms. Lewis on your Master Advisor title, and Lily on your first Vice President of the state title also. And it's really outstanding, and thank you for mentoring the teachers and the students as well. I wanted to thank our administration for working all summer. You had to close the school year down, and now you're opening up another school year, so thank you. I wanted to welcome the math students back tomorrow morning, and then as Mr. Bottoms pointed out, welcome the rest of our students back on the 26th, which is really hard to believe that we're talking about school starting back up again. But that's it for me.
Also wanted to say congratulations, Ms. Lewis and Lily, for your position there. It's very important, those things, making contact with other schools and dealing with that. So it's a learning experience there. So congratulations there. And of course, with math starting back, tomorrow being the inaugural day, I know those students are going to be looking forward to getting back to work. And teachers coming in, as Bottom said, next Wednesday already, so it's already time. That didn't take long. Summer went flying by. Fall sports has started, so I hope they all have good seasons. I know the numbers are kind of down for East right now. They're hoping that they're going to get some more out there, but it's something that you have to look at as a coach and kind of recruit and get out there and hope that there'll be enough to keep your squad at full playing potential. And also be safe looking out for those yellow school buses out there, because they're going to be on the road here in 3 weeks. And it's also very important to recognize those stop signs, to stop behind them and not try to go around them. And It's good that we've got most of the hurricane damage stuff behind us now, and work is finishing up. So it looks like this season's going to be a good school year. What was the reading program you said, Mr. Bottom?
Keys to literacy.
That literacy, that's going to be emphasized quite often for that. That's very important to know how to read, so we need to encourage that always. And let's look forward to a good school year coming up.
Perfect. Thank you, Jake. I would also like to congratulate Lily and Ms. Lewis. I'm a big proponent of leadership. I love the fact that you're spreading leadership throughout our school system. That makes me happy. My son is a freshman at West Carteret, so teach him leadership when you meet him, please.
We're ready for him.
Yeah, thank you. I also want to thank the administration. I'm 7 months into this, and I was told summertime was like sort of laid back and an easy time, and it really hadn't been that way. And from what I've seen, y'all have really just gone above and beyond to deal with some tough situations, and I truly appreciate the way you've handled it. So thank y'all so much for what y'all have done, and getting us to the point we are right now. I truly appreciate that. So that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Clark. And also, congratulations to both of you, Ms. Lewis and Lily. That's great. That's awesome. And thank you for the gifts as well. We don't always get goodies, so that's appreciated. I did want to extend a congratulations, even though they're not here, and it's kind of like a ghost town in here. I did want to extend a congratulations to the families of the Mass Early College on their success in getting a BOE resolution passed that's going to allow Mass to open on schedule. It was a hard-fought battle by those on both sides, which unfortunately monopolized countless hours away from family, work, and free time, from parents, from board members, from staff members, all around. It was an ordeal. And so, yes, maybe our summers are normally a little bit more chill, but not this summer, unfortunately. But again, congratulations. To the parents of the other schools throughout our county, I am sorry that the teaching positions at your schools had to be withdrawn. And to the taxpayers, I want to apologize in advance for any additional funding requests, which likely will be made for our school system to try to fill some of these teaching positions. There's always shortages of money, unfortunately, and it a lot of times comes down to that. So I apologize in advance that we may have to come calling for that. But hopefully we can move forward from here and keep our schools strong despite any setbacks that they continue to face. So that's all I have. And if there's nothing else, then I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting is the
September
Third.
2nd or
September
3rd?
5th, isn't it?
3rd's a Tuesday.
I don't know.
3rd?
3rd.
It's the
6
day after
o'clock.
Labor Day. I did notice, yeah.
All right. Next meeting, day after Labor Day. Now, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I made the motion to adjourn.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. All in favor, please raise your right hand or say aye.
All right, too.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned.